Hey, what's up, everybody? Ricky here. I am totally crashing Zane Laura Gabriel's day, so sorry about that. Um, yeah, but I was just thinking about the topic and I thought I would think out loud. So, the topic this week is dating, and do you think that dating is harder for genderqueer people, and would you date someone who doesn't really understand you? And the bonus question is, are you afraid of heights? So, do you think dating is harder for a genderqueer person? Yes and no. I think that actually, yes, I do. Um, I think there's sort of almost like two places where my mind goes with this. The first is um, dating just in terms of like before you sort of one comes to understand their own gender identity. And I know that with the internet and with YouTube and everything, people are, understanding gender identity a lot sooner in their lives than maybe it was in the past. So I think that in terms of gender identity, if your gender identity is something that you kind of come to grips with, or start to, not come to grips with, but just start to understand later in life, then I think that dating before then would be really difficult just because, and to be honest, I've experienced this myself, when you sort of feel like there's something not quite right in yourself and in the way that you're kind of like living, but you don't quite know what it is. I don't think that it's possible to build like a healthy relationship with that kind of inner sort of turbulence anyway. Or not just, like, I think you can build a sort of healthy relationship, but I think that if there's something kind of missing, sort of in yourself and something that you haven't quite figured out about yourself, it's sort of hard to be in a relationship, like whether that be your gender identity or anything else. So from that perspective, yeah. And then the other thing is like after, when somebody sort of comes to terms with their gender identity, or not comes to terms, but like comes to understand their gender identity and they identify themselves as a genderqueer person, I think your dating pool becomes a lot smaller. So in that sense, dating is more difficult because all of a sudden, all of these people that would have been interested in you as a cisgendered person are now not interested in you, or are still interested in you but don't think of you as a genderqueer person. They think of you as a cis person, which is incredibly invalidating, and I don't suggest that anybody do that. Like, I don't suggest anybody date somebody who sort of, who thinks of them as a cisgendered person, because I think that, and this is something I was thinking about a lot this week with the whole holidays and stuff, just validation in general can be a really strong, really kind of important thing. Like, it just feels like, when you're constantly being, like, invalidated by the people in your life who are closest to you, it's just, like, it doesn't feel good, and it's really lonely. And if you're gonna be dating somebody or gonna get into a relationship with somebody, I wouldn't, like, I don't think that being lonely is a good idea, like being lonely in a relationship. And I think that applies to, whether you're a genderqueer person or a cisgendered person or whatever. Like, if you're in a relationship where, the other person doesn't understand you, it's lonely. It is, it's lonelier than being by yourself. And yeah, so I am lucky enough that my partner is genderqueer as well. So we kind of, in our relationship, like, gender doesn't play a part in it at all. Like, it just does not. enter into our relationship, because neither of us identify as having a gender, and we both understand each other on a really, obviously a really deep level, because we both have that, understanding of ourselves, and so we're able to understand each other as well. But I kind of, would I date somebody, so hypothetically speaking, if I wasn't dating my partner, which it's hard to even imagine, but hypothetically speaking, no, I wouldn't. And I don't think that is something I would have always said. I think there's different levels of understanding somebody's, gender identity. There's the understanding where they understand it sort of true to themselves, they feel it themselves, so they're able to get that. And then there's a different level of where they can intellectually understand it, but they maybe don't, they don't really truly understand it. And I think that for people that intellectually understand it, but they don't truly understand it, it becomes a bit of you're constantly having to talk about gender and constantly having to sort of negotiate and, figure out where gender, what role gender plays in your relationship. So, I mean, obviously not, every relationship is, different, everyone is different. So, I kind of feel like I would, hypothetically, I probably would date somebody who is gendered themselves, but, tries to understand and intellectually is able to understand what it means for me, what my gender identity means for me. I'm really lucky that I am with somebody who just gets it and understands me. And not just on a gender point of view, but on every level, because I think, again, the greater question, it's, would you date someone who doesn't understand you? Yeah, we're talking, it's GenderqueerChat, so we're talking about it in terms of gender, but just in general, dating someone who doesn't understand you is lonely. It really is. It's just lonely. So, yeah. Bonus question, are you afraid of heights? Yes, I am. Similar to Christina, I am afraid of heights when I'm not safe or when I don't feel safe. I won't go, even on my balcony, I won't go to the edge because it scares me. Yeah, no, I'm afraid of heights, I am. Yeah, so, yeah. Anyway, that's it for this week, and I will see you guys again next time I see you. Bye.